1, 2, testing 1, 2. Welcome to all our viewers, locally, internationally, regionally. Welcome, welcome, welcome. To those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who made that long journey all the way down to Palo Seco on Saturday, I want to humbly apologize, as I did on the day. But it was due to the circumstance which was beyond my control that we tried to get the message out as fast and as far and wide as we possibly can on that fateful Friday afternoon. So I do want to apologize those of you who came from far and weren't who did not receive the message via Facebook and WhatsApp. And, you know, it was so much that even phone calls would have taken us until the next day to complete the calls that we should have made. But, as I said, we do apologize, and it was all the doings of the TTPS. It had absolutely nothing to do with Victor Roberts. So I do apologize for that inconvenience. I saw a news article, ladies and gentlemen. But before I get into that news article, Miss Ramona Ramdial. Ramona Ramdial. You know, I is one of the individuals who have utmost respect for women. I think that women, on the whole, they are a special species. And I always try to deal with women as polite as I can. Even though at sometimes I will be stern in my rebuke to women, especially when I know that you have the capability to ascertain the facts. And if you are not certain of the facts, as a ex-politician, Ms. Ramona Ramdial, if you are not certain about the facts, then I suggest to you that you just shut your mouth. I'm being really, really polite here. I suggest that you just shut your mouth, look for the facts. My number, 316-4468. You could even give me a call, and I will help you to understand the facts in the matter before you go to social media and make yourself I don't even want to use the word idiot because I want to be polite. But do not allow your political tabanka, do not allow your political tabanka to cause you to go and make statements on social media, and when you finish, it will be very challenging to remove your foot out of your mouth. So Ramona Ramdial asks a question. So why couldn't the payment be made to one of the mall's branches that close at 5 p.m.? Ms. Ramdial, payment for what? What am I supposed to make payment for? You see, I think I understand to a point why it is you are not the MP for that constituency that you once were. Because you just don't make statement without getting the facts, especially as a politician. So let me help you with the facts here this evening. Victor Roberts could not have paid for anything until he had a permission, a document signed by the Commissioner of Police or someone who is authorized to sign on behalf, meaning from a sergeant and above, to sign that permit so that Victor Roberts would have been able to conduct his march on that Saturday the 10th. So the process, Ms. Ramdial, is that when there are conditions attached, such as paying police officers for extra duty, what happens there is that an account will be given to you by the TTPS. The total amount of money will also be given to you by the TTPS. Then you goes to the bank and you deposit that money into the TTPS account. That can only happen, Ms. Ramdial, when there is an approval from the TTPS. So your Facebook statements is absolute rubbish. At this point, it had absolutely nothing to do with any financial transaction. When you read the lawyer from the letter from the lawyer, you will see that the lawyer reminding the TTPS that we need to know something in order to pay the required amount before the bank close. If you had information, you would have also known that there were prior letters that was written to the Commissioner of Police. So let me help you. On the 25th of November 2022, the attorneys that represented Victor Roberts in this matter wrote to the Commissioner's office and informed the Commissioner's office of Victor Roberts' intention to conduct a 3-phase march beginning at Palo Seco on the 10th of December to Palmas, and then from San Fernando to Chaguanas on the 7th of January 2023, and the final leg would be from Chaguanas to Port of Spain on Friday the 13th of January 2023. That is the first letter that we wrote to the Commissioner office informing them of our intention and that we would be seeking the permit to march within the stipulated time frame. Under the law, Mrs. or Miss Ramdial, the law makes it clear that under chapter 1102, it tells you that you must apply for permission 14 days before the event, but not less than 48 hours. Now, when you examine that piece of legislation, you will realize that you cannot apply for permission on days 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. The law is clear. Added to that, Mrs. Ramona Ramdial, we have sent the request for permission on the 2nd of December. On the 2nd of December, Ms. Ramdial, that document were before the Commissioner of Police acting. So we have applied within the time frame. What happened next, Ms. Ramdial?
Hold it right there, Mr. Roberts. Hold it right there. You're responding to Ms. Ramdial's a comment she may have made concerning the march on her Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I know that you had issued the TTPS with a pre-action protocol letter. They attempted to respond via the media, and I understand that your lawyer had since written that the TTPS would have to respond in court. So I assume that this would be going to court. So I'm wondering whether, in your attempt to explain to Ms. Ramdial, whether this would be, I'm not a lawyer, but whether this would be pre-trial publicity, because I know you have strong intentions of suing the TTPS, right?
No, this I am advised by my lawyers before I came.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear.
Yes.
You know, because really and truly, you know, before the show started, when I put on my Facebook today, I am seeing murders, home invasions, terrorism, the government just going crazy. And you are telling me one of our own colleagues, our former MPs, a very intelligent young lady, is using her energy to attack an effort that is being made by yourself and the UNC. She's attempting to attack the people who is trying to preserve democracy. So
yeah. So the point I'm coming at with that is, as I said, I was advised by the lawyers what I can say this afternoon.
Okay, yeah, well, you proceed, because you know more law than me. I was just,
right.
What I could just talk, I see in the papers were pre-trial publicity, you know.
Yeah. So added to that, all the discourse that we have done was within the stipulated time frame and also within the precincts of the law. That is what we had done. And unfortunately, we were told 4:45 on Friday that our permission was denied. So why Miss Ramona Ramdial studying to tote that tabanka feeling? I want to ask a few questions, Ms. Ramdial, and you should post it on Facebook too. I want to ask, while you were MP for 10 years, While you was MP for 10 years, what have you done in that constituency? One. What have you done within your constituency, Ms. Ramdial, Ms. Ramona Ramdial? What you have done to bring the party to a better place? Other than going out and talk a pack of hogwash on social media in relation to the same party that you once serving. And you see, one of my problem, Archie, is when these people serving in the party is better than kiss sliced bread. But the minute that they have not been selected, in one way or the other, then they go out and they fabricate and cause all kind of mischief to give the party, the same party that they serve for 10 years, to give the same party a bad name. That I cannot accept.
Yeah, but in her defense, while she was a member of parliament, she did seek her constituents. As a matter of fact, you didn't have a choice when you work under Ms. Kamala Pasada, right? If you wasn't performing, she would deal with you, right? Ramona was a very consistent performer in her constituency. She did deliver goods and services, but you have to also understand that the party on a whole deliver goods and services, right? My little issue is Ramona is a competent, hardworking, intelligent young lady, and I would really prefer that she work with the party. And I am here over the air inviting her to even join our defenders of democracy, join in and help, because we need all the help that we could get, right? And I think Ramona, by attacking the party, because what is the alternative Ramona suggests? What is the alternative? Get rid of everybody. And the next thing, Ramona served 2 full terms, Mr. Roberts, 2 full terms, right? And someone else got a chance to serve. I am wondering, if we had given her that 3rd term, I am certain all that she is saying would have been the opposite. So you're quite correct in saying it's sour grapes, but I am going past this thing, and I am telling you, I am feeling oppressed, I am feeling under siege. Every day is killing, murder, robbery. You don't know if to go out, you're afraid to go in the grocery. I am telling you, that is real. Men just coming downstairs, they're taking away your car, they're breaking in your house when you're sleeping, and all that my good colleague could do is attack the people who is trying. Because, let me tell you something, Mr. Roberts, the effort that you are making, you could come downstairs from this studio and get shot outside. That is how bad it gets. Anybody who comes in the way of this current government, they are seeking to neutralize you. As a matter of fact, I wonder whether, now this is a very strong statement I'm going to make, but whether there is some sort of cleansing that is being surreptitiously and covertly promoted by this government to get their way to hold on to power. And the sort of erosion of democracy, and I know you're going to talk about this later on, everything is an excuse as to why the UNC cannot have their way. There's one thing standing in the way of this government from total dictatorship and killing and just doing what they want is the Privy Council. And if you notice that they say that the main objective of the Attorney General is to get rid of the Privy Council, and once they get rid of that Privy Council, partner, Papa Doc is joke.
Well, I think it's 2 entities that is standing that having this government
correct.
Not becoming a full dictatorship. And yes, the Privy Council, and of course, the next entity is the UNC. Because
and
we
Kamala,
will not...
Kamala herself.
We will not stop. But you see, Archie, I want to come back to something. While I'm being very polite, and while I have no problem with Ramona or Rambachan or Vasant or anybody joining in the march, I have no problem with that, But anybody who tries to erode and destroy the only party in this country that acted lawfully, that uphold law and order, any individual in this country, whether former UNC members or sitting UNC members or anybody in the PNM or anywhere else, I will seriously deal with your Archie. That is my position. Because you cannot benefit from the UNC. You cannot live off of the UNC. And because you are replaced for whatever reason that the political leader of this party decide, you then have a problem, try to break up, mash up, and then to the end of the day, I will just pat you on your back and say, all right, cool it. Let me tell you something, not Victor Roberts. Because those individual Archie who is striving to cause strive within the party, I don't care whether you're outside or you're still sitting inside, because I just be plain as day, you know. And I keep saying, I don't have a problem with who have a problem with me. I don't have a problem with who don't like me. I don't have a problem with that, because I am not in a beauty contest. What is going on in this country here? It is detrimental to the future of the country. It is detrimental to the youths. It is detrimental to every single citizen. And while we have people who on the outside trying to cause chaos, and even who on the inside and trying to cause division, let me tell you something, I am not supporting that. And while on that, let me say this. I'm saying it and I'm saying it again. You cannot derail Victor Roberts. You cannot derail Victor Roberts. I want to make it clear. I want to make it very clear, Archie, that Kamla Prasad Bisesa is the elected leader of the party. And the party elect Kamala. And therefore my loyalty is to the leader of the party. Do not try to entertain any idiotic conversation with me against the leaders of the party. Don't try with me. Try that somewhere else. Put that energy somewhere else. This is a situation in this country where we have a government that continues to misbehave, that continues to influence all the independent institutions in this country, and yet we have people who will still stand up and talk all this hogwash about Kamla this and Kamla that and Kamla the other. If all you have at a banker with Kamla, take a sleeping pill, go to sleep, and some only even bound to get up as far as I'm concerned, because always more enemies to democracy. The fight that we fighted only is more enemies to democracy than anything else in this country. A matter of fact, some of the ex-UNC members, some of them who still say there is UNC, they are more supportive of Keith Rowley than anything else. And I make no apology for that. Some of them, I don't know if they believe that staying in opposition will give them classic opportunities. I don't know. But I am telling you, this fight is real. We have a leader who fighting with every last breath that she have in she body. We have deputy leaders who is standing up and fighting the battle. And to the end of the day, we as the membership, we as the body, we as the foot, the neck, the hand, even the toes and the toenail, we have to stand up. We have to stand up and ensure that our party stand tall and stand strong and rescue this country from the evil hands that this country now finds itself in. We have to rescue this country from the Lekito Jumbie that is running this country. We have to rescue this country. So I don't want to hear about Ramona and all of them who feel that social media will give them some kind of credibility in order to look good or to look important because of all your political tabanka. Because all the political tabanka put on a red Balize jersey and let's done the worries. Don't suffer yourself. Don't suffer yourself every Monday morning. Only have a post every Monday morning. Kamla this, kamla that. Every Monday morning, Kai Takla sing this, Kai Takla sing that. Every Monday morning, Anil this, Anil that. This one this, that one that. Boy, look, all you wrestle yourself, man. Wrestle yourself. What is happening in this country is more important than all your ego. What is happening in this country is more important than the position that all you want. What is more important than in this country is the fight, the crab in a barrel syndrome. What is more important in this country, it is more important than what you think, feel, or wishes to express. This is a battle for survival. This is a battle for survival. You have a police service that is contaminated with political interference. I don't care who minister. I don't care who minister say no march will take place. I don't care about that. I don't care about that minister neither. What I care about is the democratic process and people's democratic constitutional rights. That is what we will fight for. And let me put all you on notice. Let me put all you on notice. The battery of attorneys that is putting documentation together. We are going to, without a doubt, we are going after that piece of legislation because it's a draconian piece of legislation. It is oppressive. It is biased. And it is also discriminatory. You cannot tell me that if I have to go and march against the police service, that I have to apply to the police for permission to march against them. If I go in and march against the state, I have to apply to the state for permission. And you must know that this piece of legislation, this draconian piece of legislation, this was brought to the parliament under Eric Williams, and Carl Hudson Phillip is also responsible. This is legislation that was put in place against the Black Power movement. And this government, the PNM government, were able to escape year go, year come with this piece of legislation. Well, I want to tell the government that this piece of legislation would not be, they will not escape with it. We are going to challenge it in the court all the way to the Privy Council if need be. That is where we are going. All the way to the Privy Council if need be. That is where we're going with this. We have to submit ourselves to a dictator. We have to submit ourselves to whoever wishes to get confirmed as Commissioner of Police. And let me tell you something at the same time. All you're more dotish than I think. All you feel that this government will confirm all you in position. This government will use all you in acting position because it's something that is they have in their hands to hang over your head. So anytime you ain't comply, they could remove you. Police officers ought to stand up and obey the law. You have to ensure that law and order is adhered to. That is your responsibility. You have to ensure that the government obey the law. You must ensure that every arm of state obeys the law. But we are in a country today, ladies and gentlemen, where it seems as though the PNM law is supreme, the supreme law. We are in a country where the PNM law is supreme to the supreme law. I saw recently, before I go there, let me make mention of something, because I feel I have another lawsuit will be coming very soon. And I want to put the mayor of San Fernando on notice. I put in the mayor on notice. We have wrote to the mayor of San Fernando, asking the mayor of San Fernando for permission to utilize the promenade in San Fernando. What day that letter went out, Archie, remember?
It may have been the 2nd of September.
September or November?
2nd of December.
The 2nd of December. That letter went out to the mayor's office on the 2nd of December. They acknowledge receipt of the letter. They acknowledge.
Oh, the 25th. The 25th of November is the exact date.
All right, so correction. The letter went out on the 25th of November. When did they acknowledge that letter, Archie?
The 28th of November, it was acknowledged.
So 3 days later, they acknowledge receipt of the letter. Ladies and gentlemen, we waited and waited and waited for a response. When there is no response forthcoming, we wrote and we asked that we have sent in this document. We also learned that the council convened, that there was a meeting, and our letter was not put on the agenda. After that meeting, we heard absolutely nothing from the Sando City Corporation. A couple days ago, we wrote them and we said that we have sent in this letter on the 25th, and to date, the event date have since passed, and we have not received any reply whatsoever in terms of that. You know what was said to us via?
Let me read it out to you. Let me read it out to you.
Let Archie read it.
Good afternoon, sir. The Harris Promenade is currently under a restoration program and is unavailable at this time.
Right.
Please accept.
Wait, hold up. When did you collect that response?
The 13th of December, today.
So, the 13th of December, that's today?
Correct.
So, we get a response today. The event's supposed to be the 10th. We get a response today that the promenade is under some kind of repair or upgrade or downgrade or whatever grade they want to call it. But we continue.
Please accept our humblest apology. Due to technical issues, we were unable to respond on time. Kindly acknowledge receipt of this email. Well, I am yet to do so.
Hold up, Archie. Hold up. So, they are telling us that Saturday, because of some technical difficulty, they couldn't respond. The promenade is under repairs. But I want to ask the mayor. If any religious organization utilize the same promenade that is under repair on the 10th, that they utilize the same promenade on the 11th. So here what I'm going to do. Here what I'm going to do. I am going to the Freedom of Information Act. I am going to the Freedom of Information. And I will see when permission was granted. If there was an event Sunday, the promenade was closed to Victoria but Saturday. But if there was an event Sunday, I want to know when those individuals wrote to the mayor. I want to know when it was discussed in council. I want to know when the council voted on it. And I want to know when what date they send that letter and the response they get. And then I will take it from there. You see, let me tell you something. I am not going to be playing any games going forward, you know. So the promenade was under repair for us on the 10th of December, but it was available for a religious group on the 11th of December. Now, I want to know if that is coincided with Rowley. Rowley, day of prayer.
I think that's the information I'm getting, but when you do the Freedom of Information, right. Our note I told you, our letter went in on the 25th, way before this alleged day of prayer. So I am wondering if we send in our application before, how it is an event that materialized weeks later, got permission for the use of the promenade, that is allegedly under restoration.
Right. So we will get the information. And Mr. Mayor, when we get that information, expect, I think we should send a letter to the, when my attorney friend reach here, I know he tied up in traffic a little bit. When he reach here, I will ask him if we need to send a pre-action protocol letter to the mayor of San Fernando.
Well, I wondering how much laws you could use. To me, this is the Equal Opportunity Act being violated. I want to know if there's some sort of discrimination, political victimization.
There's one law for the PNM and another law for everybody else. You see, you see this word technical difficulty? I remember.
Oh yes, that was stated.
I remember not too long ago, there was a bid.
The hospital block.
In relation to a contract. And what had happened, I remember that two contractors made it more or less to the finals. And I could remember that after the bids were closed, a third contractor popped up. And when that third contractor popped up, I could remember clearly that the government said that there was some technical glitch. And as a result of the technical glitch, we end up with a third contractor who was nowhere in the picture. And if my memory served me right, I could remember TSTT saying that there was no glitch.
TSTT, eh?
If my memory serves me right.
No glitch. So,
but this third contractor jumped in the mix because of a glitch. And we are now hearing that the PNM mayor could not respond to us because of some technical glitch. So it seems as though that it's a glitch thing for one side while it is a free-for-all on the other side. That is what we are now hearing. So we have to look into this. We have to look into this. So I want to put the mayor on notice that we are going to file and get that information coming out from the Freedom of Information. And then, Mr. Mayor, putting you on notice, expect a document. Expect a document coming. You see, all you must know that the law is for everybody. The law is not just biased against the UNC. The law must be for every citizen in this country, and that is what we're going to demand.
Yeah, well, Mayor Harrell Ranks, he will cuss at the police and serve him that notice. You don't even have to go far with this technical glitch. All of us would have remembered just yesterday in the Commission of Inquiry. The commissioner, imagine
himself.
You have a glitch for what? Over 6 or 7 months. You saying that you couldn't scan some documents and
because
get it
of a glitch.
because of technical issues. You tell me, no man, partner, just now they will start walking you home and kill you and say the gun had a technical glitch. That is where we heading.
You see, I am telling you, and if you don't want to recognize what is happening in this country, people, that's a matter for you. That's a matter for you. This government continue to suppress us using outdated laws in some instant, and then demanding that some members of the executive in the police service, demanding that they carry out their political instructions. And that is where the danger continue to lies, ladies and gentlemen. The danger continue to lie within those types of behavior. We are seeing a clear case that the PNM government, they are doing whatever they want, and they do not care one iota about the Constitution. They don't care one iota about your life and your livelihood. They do not care whether or not you cannot provide food on your table. They do not care whether or not you can send your children to school. They don't care whether or not you can access medication from the CEDAP program at the institution, the health institution, the pharmacies. They don't care. Welcome, my attorney, my friend, my brother. Hello. So we have attorney Kyle Takla Singh trying to access the phone lines. Welcome, Kyle. Okay, brother, try back. We ain't get through yet. Try back. They don't care. They don't care whether or not you could get medication from the pharmacy. They don't care about your pension. They don't care about your gratuity. They don't care, ladies and gentlemen. But how come you still caring about them? I remember the same mayor the other day. I don't know if I actually will find it. I remember the same mayor pushing back dread on Alwari. Actually, you could find that video. We don't understand what's happening. We have, ladies and gentlemen, the mayor pushing back hard on Alwari. It's just the wrong song was playing, you know. The song that they should have been playing there is Take Bamboo Boy. Take bamboo right there, boy. That is the song that should have been playing. Welcome, Kyle. Welcome, attorney. Nah, still not. That is the song that should have been playing. Fitzgerald Hines and the whole team, they having a ball. Everybody jamming. The CET could burn down. They jamming still. And you can't even jam. You can't even eat bread and jam. You can't even see the bread, much less the jam. Minimum wage, one bread you're working for an hour. One bread you're working for an hour. So if you're eating 2 bread for the day, you know what's going on with you? Like 2 hours gone. People are to get serious in this country. All you have to wake up in this country. We cannot continue as we go in. And I don't know what people in this country want again. I don't know what you people in this country want again. The PNM continue to flaunt every law. They're bidding with money and they ain't declaring. Balize house going up. I had to sure talk about 50 million. No accountability. I hope she just wasn't talking for the election. Election done now like I ain't she, you know. Like I ain't she, election done now. She estimated as $50 million. Hines and Rowley sell you for ticket and raise that. And all the idiots in this country who believe that, all you are talking to, who believe that, all you have to be real idiots in this country to believe that. Ministers have large bank accounts. Money tall like a garden boots. Tall like a garden boots. No accountability. We in here about investigation. Ministers going in bank withdrawing, toting 5 Roses bag. You remember 5 Roses? 5 Roses handbag, the brown bag. Full of money. Where the file? Somewhere between the DPP and the commissioner office. Millions of dollars fake oil. Millions of dollars. Where the file? Gary said hot, it good and it ready. Where the file? Just now it disappear. Prime Minister interference with our merit list. 1 minute, I is the man. Next minute is not me. 1 minute I is the man. Next minute is Casper. No investigation. Police service commission mash up fine like Chili BB. No statement recorded. No file sent here. No file sent there. And very soon you might hear Blissy Pasar appointed to about 15 board. You might hear that very soon. Welcome, Kyle Taklal Singh.
Good night. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Excellent, excellent.
So I have a question before you start your discourse. We have sent a document to the mayor of San Fernando seeking permission to use the promenade. We have gotten no response, something just like what happened with this other matter. And we have sent out that letter on the 25th. We get acknowledgement, but no response. So we wrote them again. Was it yesterday, Archie? Today. And we get a response, and what they are saying to us is that there was a technical glitch, some technical difficulty, that they could not have responded to us. For us to use the promenade on Saturday, they further state that the promenade is under repairs. But we are now learning that Sunday, a religious organization accessed permission to use the promenade in relation to this day of prayer that was called by the Prime Minister. How would we treat with that, sir?
Well, Victor, I want to say, I'm going to use a term that is not entirely legal, but I think people will understand it as being legal.
Right?
It seems that the mayor of San Fernando is being plain smart with stupidness. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. He is playing smart with stupidness. If you have an application before you, by virtue of the law, you have to treat with that application
Right?
and you have to make a decision. And if you delay in making that decision, you are acting unlawfully. And if you make that decision eventually in an arbitrary manner, you are also acting unlawfully. And if you discriminate, meaning you treat people differently, or you act unequally, or you treat Victor Roberts in a discriminatory manner or in an unequal manner, you are also acting unlawfully.
Right?
And not only that, you are acting unconstitutionality. Because Section 4 of the Constitution grants you the right to be treated equally before all public authorities. So therefore, we have a constitutional challenge against San Fernando, the San Fernando Corporation and the mayor. So we will deal with that in due course.
Beautiful.
But what I
Beautiful.
wanted to tell your viewers, and I wanted to assure your thousands and hundreds of thousands of supporters, because I know you had a large support
Yeah.
for this march. I imagine as your attorney, was receiving calls from other lawyers in this country. Lawyers, doctors, accountants, even, I want to tell you, you know what an actuarial scientist is? An actuarial scientist called me and said he wanted to support Victor Roberts. You could imagine that, right? So you had young professionals in this country that were interested and wanted to come out and march next to Mr. Victor Roberts. Not Kyle Taklalsing, eh?
Yeah.
Victor Roberts. They were willing to support. I had at least 30 lawyers call me and said, Kyle, I want to tell you, I want to support your client because I know what is going on in this country. Certain things that the law could do, but there's more that activism could do. They come out and support Victor Roberts. That kind of thing. Victor Roberts, because they know the impact, right? So, I want to assure your viewers that you see what the police did? I don't want to call up the police too much, but you see what the police did on that day was extremely unconstitutional and unlawful, and we will be taking them to court. Strategy-wise, I don't want to talk too much about the facts.
Right.
They will have to answer before a judge. And the individual police officers in the Southern Division will have to answer before the judge. The next march, as I understand it, Victor, might either be central or not, and I want to very respectfully tell those police officers, if you deny us the march in central, or if you deny us the march in north, you will end up before a high court judge as well. So decide what you're doing.
You there?
Yeah, listening to you.
Right. So the whole structure, which I would not get into, the whole structure,
Yeah.
from day one, we understand what was happening and we were putting the necessary lawful framework in place in order to get permission.
Very much so. The law is very clear. Anybody, and I've heard several commentators, the law says that you have to apply if you want to march or protest within a window of 14 days to 48 hours. Okay?
Right?
So you have to make your application within that window. We made that application, Victor, as you would know, 8 days or 10 days before the march. Even before that, we wrote a courtesy letter on the 25th of November telling the Commissioner of Police that we intend to apply. They acknowledged that letter. On the 10th day before the march, we said, this is our application. They acknowledged the letter. On the 7th of December, we wrote and said, well, what is going on with permission? They acknowledge the letter. 2 days before the march, we wrote. We said, listen, it's only 2 days. Could you please give us the permission?
Yeah.
They acknowledge the letter. On the 9th of December, the day before the march, we wrote again. They acknowledge the letter, right? And then, just when they denied you, we wrote again and said, why did you deny us? They acknowledge the letter. Lo and behold, today they come out with some press release saying they gave you permission. I want to say, with all due respect to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, you damn lie. You damn lie. You gave us no permission. You gave us no permission. You denied us permission. If anybody wants to contradict that, I want you to say Kyle Taklal, sing attorney at law lie. Because I will sue your tail for defamation. Go ahead and say Kyle Taklal, sing lie. I will sue you for defamation. Are there anybody to say that? Right? They denied us permission. Victor Roberts, I don't put my name down on ink for anybody just so. I am putting my name behind you and I will back you up. They denied us permission. And whoever wants to say I lie and you lie, we will sue them. Because we have all of our letters. The Trinidad and Tobago Police has not one single contemporaneous document or permit to say anything different. Okay? So they have no documentation, they have no permit, they have nothing in writing to say that they granted us permission. People must not mix it up. The law requires you to have a permit to march.
Correct.
That is not she say, that is not an oral thing. That is not like a police could just call you and say, hey Victor, go ahead. You must have a permit. So the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service must produce the permit. Today, despite several letters, imagine up to today, Victor, they called my office and they wrote us a letter saying they acknowledge our pre-action protocol, but they have not produced the permit. So all who want to commentate, I saw you spoke about Miss Ramona Ramdial. Let me just say, I have no beef with Miss Ramona Ramdial. She was my former MP. I live in Couva North. Me and she have a cordial relationship. I want to tell her she could pick up her phone and call me. I will produce all of the letters written from my legal firm and all of the letters written by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We had no permission, none at all. And if they had given us permission, then they should have given it to me or told me in writing or by email or by letter that you have permission. They did none of that. So the position is, unless they could prove it, they are wrong and we will be taking them to court.
Kyle, you're driving?
I'm parked up right now. I'm not driving.
Oh, yeah, because I thought you went down in a pothole there because the audio became very distorted there.
Well, much like the Paria Commission, I might be having technical difficulties.
Yeah, but everybody here, it good on the outside. On the live, it good.
Okay, all right, fine.
Yeah, continue. It good on the outside.
I had some trouble uploading my audio to the jump drive.
So, brother, we will do what we have to do, and I wanted to give them a little synopsis as to the state of that piece of law and the way that law is oppressive to the citizens of this country, and we intend to challenge that law also in the courts. He cut off there? All right, good. No problem. So we intend to challenge that piece of legislation in the courts, ladies and gentlemen. Apart from taking action against the police, we are going to challenge that piece of legislation because it's oppressive. I think it's downright outdated, and it's a piece of legislation that was utilized by the PNM government to oppress, especially the Black Power movement. And coming out of the protest and so on that would have been coming forward, I think that they decided to have that. Carl Hudson Phillip and Eric Williams had decided to do what they have to do to keep the oppression on the people of this country. So we will challenge that piece of law.
Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Right? We will.
Hello? Hello?
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you had it. Attorney at law Kyle Taklal Singh, one of the lead attorney in these matters that will be going before the court. And of course, we are prepared to go all the way to ensure that justice would be served in this country. We can no longer pretend. We can no longer pretend. We can no longer puppy show ourselves. We can no longer make believe. We can no longer, ladies and gentlemen, live in some kind of hope and to remain in a dream that things would get better. Today, I am telling the country, you have to make it better. You have to make it better. Don't fool yourself and believe that next week things will get better. Don't fool yourself and believe that when Rowley call an election and they bring all the goodies and they patch a hole and they give you hamper and they open up some 10 days and they open up some crash here and there, don't believe that things will be getting better. That is only to continue to captivate and to keep your intelligence in prison, where they will utilize your vote to remain in power and then turn back and beat you with the whip and keep you in bondage in the chains that you cannot see on your feet and your hands, while you believe that everything would be all right because Rowley provide some little kakada and pay out some little money. To the end of the day, for the next 4 years, you will suck salt and you will eat out of the devil pot. That is what they do to you. So don't feel things will get better. You have to make things better. You have to get up and come out and join us and fight the battle to make things get better. Not for you, but for your children and for your grandchildren. I am seeing another attorney on the screen right now. Attorney Brian Big.
Go ahead, Mr. Big.
Welcome.
Hi, good evening, Victor. Good evening as well to...
Turn on your audio, Mr. Big. Your
No
audio,
volume.
Your audio is open on my side. Your side, your audio down.
You hear me now?
No volume. No volume.
Are you hearing me at all?
Are you hearing him over there?
All right. Yeah, go ahead now. Go ahead,
Okay,
Mr.
you
Big.
hear me?
Go ahead, Mr.
You
Big.
hear me all right? Yes, so good evening, Victor, and good evening, Archie, and the rest of the Douglas Politics crew.
Volume very low.
Go ahead, Mr. Big.
Right, so I listened to esteemed attorney at law Kyle Taklal thing as well. And I want to say I totally agree with everything he has said. And it is very disturbing to see what has been said as to what has happened in this matter. It is very, very disturbing, but not surprising to what has happened. And I just want to say that I think the time has come for the action that is being taken by you all. Because I think it is ridiculous where persons have to apply to march in this country. That was only brought about to oppress persons during the Black Power riots, where, as you would know, such legislation was created then by then Attorney General Carl Hudson Phillip, right? So then it was overtaken by the Summary Offences Act. So it is very, very disturbing that that was done. And I must applaud you in your efforts for what you are doing, Victor. I totally support the action taken by your attorneys in this matter. As you know, I'm always there for you as well. It is again showing that the dictatorial tactics of what is happening in this country. It is ridiculous at the highest level. To hear something what is called conditional approval, I am still trying to figure out what is that. Right? What is that? I read that press release. Well, I heard what Kyle said, what he thought about that press release, and I share his view. I have written for approvals to March already, and it's either you get it via the permit or not. So I am hearing now this ridiculous thing, and that is, but I won't go into much detail so that I know you are going before the courts, right? But to say that this is what was given to you, and the facts don't add up, as the leader would say, the maths not maxing. So, my friend, I totally am in support of your march. I will also be joining you in your march, as I would have told you where and when I will join you.
But Big, let me just
It
say
is
this
time
to you.
that
Let me just say this to you. I read some kind of notices on the papers this morning with who trying to get me and who trying to find me and who can't find me and so on. We have several letters, several pieces of correspondence from the attorney office to the commissioner office. So you don't think if you couldn't get me, you don't think that it was prudent to respond to my attorney? You think that was prudent? That is one. Secondly, the law is clear that my denial or approval must be given in writing. And the reason for that, you can tell me, go and march. And when I start a march, some police officers stop me and say, Mr. Roberts, we have reason to believe that this march is unlawful. Where is your permit? And I tell them that somebody call me and tell me go and march. This is so silly.
my friend, that is why I am saying that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, I believe, has bitten off more than they can chew in this matter, right? Because it is ridiculous. It is very, very ridiculous, right? And I am saying here tonight that the TTPS will have answers, will have questions to answer. And I believe, as my grandmother used to say, walk the 12 steps of the Hall of Justice, which you are doing. So I said I will not go further to prejudice your matter. Right? But I will say is that I totally support the views, I'll say it again, as to what has been said by Kyle Taklalsing. And I will say further that let them try again, because it is totally ridiculous as to what has been happening. I even heard the statement that was done by San Fernando City Corporation, which and all is more ridiculous as far as I'm concerned, right? The TTPS must learn, right? Be police officers. Don't try to play politics, right? And if the tentacles of politicians has intervened in this, then I'm sorry for the state of affairs in the TTPS. It is really ridiculous. My friend, I will leave you with this. I fully support you. I fully support your march. And I will tell anybody in this country that it is time that this ridiculous thing about writing to get permission to march on the street, when there is a constitution of this country which has our enshrined rights. But I won't go further into that because I know your lawyers will deal further with those constitutional issues. All right? What I will say, and I'll say it again, the people of Trinidad and Tobago must see for themselves what is being done. This is dictatorship. This is dictatorship at its highest level by using state resources to ensure that you don't march. I want to know, and I'll close with this. We just had a march just the other day, but with Pastor Clive Dutton. They marched against assassins. We have assassins in this country. I didn't know that. I know we have persons who have been committing murders in this country. So they got permission, and I would like to know when they got permission, how they got the permission, was they unfitted, and did they get conditional approval? It's ridiculous, totally ridiculous. So my friend, stand tall, stand strong, and we will be there with you fully. You know, I will always have your back as well.
Thank you, my brother. You see, in this country, in this Trinidad and Tobago, we have allowed this government to get away with murder. And I want to go back to the mayor of San Fernando. I want to go back to the mayor. You see, the mayor must answer. He must answer. I think I saw some video on social media. I don't know if it's real or not, but I saw some video on social media where it appears as though there is some altercation between the police and the mayor. And it looked like the mayor better than the police. Because if it was Victoria was going on, like what I see on social media, they don't hit me too hard, cough, break up my ribs again, throw my hand behind my back. And I sit down in a cell waiting for Kyle Taklal Singh and other attorneys to come to rescue me. But the mayor is bigger than the police. Bigger than the police. That is why it come to. Once there's a PNM, you could do anything in this country. You could do anything in this country and get through. You could say anything in this country.
I go against anybody. You got to be. You're the place. But maybe you're some of you don't know how to place. You're the
What's that? A man in khaki escorting the mayor. The man in khaki escorting the mayor, boy. I know it have a chutney, you know, it's something with the khaki and the kaka. They should put two of them in the hole. The man in khaki and the mayor. Because you in khaki, watch how the mayor speaking to your fellow police officers. Watch how the mayor speaking. Watch the mayor action. Watch the mayor behavior. But it have a glitch. It had a technical difficulty. So they couldn't respond to Victoria Watts to use our promenade. Because it comes like the promenade now is the PNM own. So they couldn't respond for us to use our promenade. Alright? It's under repairs. But Sunday, a big religious group on the same promenade with permission to carry out their activities. But on Saturday the 10th, it's under repairs. But Sunday the 11th, it's alright. So I am going to apply. Let's get the facts as to what transpired between Saturday and Sunday, where we couldn't utilize it because we are branded as UNC. That is what we are branded. But I want to know if those who assisted the Prime Minister prayer, if they are branded as PNM. That is what I want to know. I want to know if they're branded as PNM. Because I remember that the problem in this country, they used to give Baptist people real problem in this country. They couldn't talk, they couldn't march, they couldn't walk. It's problem. But it looked like that shoes is now my own. It looked like that shoes is now my own. I can't walk, I can't talk. It's problem. But everybody else could get permission. Everybody else could utilize the promenade. The police could approve everybody else's permission. But I say no more. I say no more. I say no more. We will get down to the bottom of this blatant discrimination in this country. We will get down to it. It's not only geographical discrimination that is existing in this country, you know. People in Barapur, St. Helena, Penal, or Approach, or look at drunk with flood. When last all they hear Greenville flood? When last all the big rain, all they hear flood in Greenville? All they hear anything in Greenville? All they hear nothing, all they know why? Because they ensure that pumps and everything, rivers and everything clear. Because that is not Barapur, that is not Clark Road. You understand? That is not Orapuch.
As you talk that, Victor.
You understand?
As you talk that, you know, with the recent flooding, I heard that in all the UNC constituencies, there are yet to be some sort of government relief, right? Whereas if it flooded by chance in any PNM constituencies, I see in boxes of KFC and all kind of thing being delivered. And in the UNC constituencies, the MPs and the councillors have to be cooking food. I see big Rudal Munilal turning pot and putting out food in Styrotex thing and carrying it and personally delivering it, right? Yet the state is using, like what we heard in the Alsing case, he used state agencies and state resources to clean up his place, ignoring his neighbors, right? And not offering these state agencies, Army and CPEP is helping out in the PNM constituencies. I'm wondering whether to say people look for that.
Well, let me tell you something. The Alsing neighbor and them maybe vote for he and all, so let me don't pour we mouth too much in them business, eh? Let me don't pour we mouth too much in them business. But you see, I am saying Trinidad and Tobago, I am saying today that all you have to fix it is all you have to fix it. Actually, I still want to find that video with Revello and Hines and Alwari jamming, you know. I just want to see that video. I want to see him. I want to see how we jamming with Alwari. You understand? And while he jamming with Alwari, we can get to use the promenade. It under repairs. But big party, people drowning in water, a man fall off, boat trying to rescue people. People can't get food. But they jamming still. They having a time. And that is what they condone. And this 2x4 country that we call Trinidad and Tobago, them people and them still sit down. And playing dotish. Playing they ain't seen what happening. Playing they ain't understand what happening. They can't provide a meal. But yet still, they telling the neighbor, you know the Belchinard? They can't provide a meal. The neighbor is smelling not cooking in the pot, but the Belchinard. Giving the neighbor the indication that they just eat something. Giving the neighbor indication that they just eat something. They're hungry to death. But giving the neighbor the indication that they now eat something. You know why? Because great is what they support. The children have no future. Today I talking to some youths, and I telling the youths, go back to 1970, watch and see who stood out to ensure that a local guy work in the bank. It's some university students, Guinness Grange and a crew, that start the process that you could have benefited from what Kamla and the rest of the team was providing. That which you now lose under the Keith Rowley PNM government. I keep telling all you that they're bringing back all you into these days of slavery. I keep telling all you that all you has shackles that all you ain't seeing. I keep telling all you that they will send all you to crawl on all your belly. I keep telling all you to stand up in this country. The time has come where you must stand up and defend your democracy. Yes, man. Give them the finger, Heinz. Give them the finger. Yes, man. Show them how to do it, man. Show them how to do it, man. All the taxpayer money. Whine on them with taxpayer money. Whine on them. Have a time. Enjoy yourself. I want to practice, you know. Actually, let me see it again. I could see it again. Show me it again, Archie. Man, jam it, boy. Trinidad and Tobago. If all you ain't sick in this country, something wrong. All you have to be sick in this country to tolerate that. All you have to be sick in this country and eating some kind of unusual meal that probably coming out a rowdy body for all you to accept that. All you have to be drinking some kind of unusual juice that coming from rowdy body for all you to be accepting that. All you have to be sick to accept that. You people, young people, let me talk to you for the rest of the program now. The youths of Trinidad and Tobago, I am going to speak to you now. Your future, young people, is not on the block rolling a weed. Your future, young people, is not in the Forest Park bottle. Your future, young people, starts within your mind. Your future, young people in this country, start with a vision. Something that is not yet here. And while it is not yet before you, you have already set it out in your minds to achieve that goal within a particular time frame. And I am telling you that when you allow yourself to be cheated and to be manipulated without being conscious as to what is happening with your future, you will then be in a place of only an imagination. You would only imagine what you could have been and what you could have achieved when you remain dormant without taking that step, that position to ensure that a future is set before you. You cannot wait on this government to provide a future for you. You have to provide the future by waking up to reality, by understanding that there is no hope and no chance for you as young people in this country, under this government, under this regime. You must look back at the opportunities that were created for you. The opportunities that Kamla Prasad Bisesa brought to the table, where you can accelerate and advance, where you would be able to provide, where those opportunities would have been such a one that you can craft your future by accessing the opportunities that were provided by the Kamla Prasad Bisesa government for you in this country as young people. You must wake up to the reality that these opportunities, they are no longer there because they were removed by the Keith Rowley administration. You must realize, young people, that you have to unite, that you have to bind yourself together as a force to be reckoned with. Remember what Dennis Granger and those have stood up for, so that you can have opportunities. Today I am saying to you that you must bind together and stand to ensure opportunities are provided by the resources that does not belong to the PNM. You must understand that the resources of the country, that is your future. And you have to stand up together to ensure that your future are properly well directed and guided by the policies that those policy maker ought to be making on your behalf. You must stand up, young people, and you must demand your fair share in the wealth of this country. You cannot get that in a Forest Park bottle. You cannot get that in a 20, a 40, or 100 piece. You have to get that because you are conscious of the political robbery that is being perpetrated against you by this administration. You must recognize that there is a time period in relation to age where you would be able to access good jobs, where you would be able to access the appropriate education, where you must be able to perform to your best within the sporting fraternity. When you are robbed and you have been sent backward, these opportunities will suffice and pass your youth, where you would not be able to retrieve. When that time passes, you must recognize that your time, your future is right now. I am prepared to stand with you. I am prepared to lead the battle with you and for you. I am prepared, young people, to stand in the gap despite if the walls of prison must be the opportunity for me so that you can benefit and exhale in this society. I am prepared to lead the battle for you to have a good education. I am prepared to lead the battle so that that you can achieve the highest peak. I am prepared to lead the battle so that you can become young business people, young entrepreneurs in this country. My job is to help you to see the real enemy of your future. The enemies to your future, young people, it is the government that sits in power. The enemy, young people, to your development, it's the government that sits in power. And you, as young people, you cannot afford to allow your future to go down the drain because your mommy and your daddy and your grandparents tell you that is the party for you. That's your enemy. And if your mommy and daddy and your grandparents tell you that the PNM is the party for you, then they are your enemy too. They are your enemy too. Ask your mommy, your daddy, and your grandparents, what would you like me to be, mommy? What future do you want me to have, daddy? Should I live as you live and beg to reach the age to get a pension? So what I could have benefited within my youth, I have to depend on a pension in my old age where I will never be able to fulfill my dreams. You see, you must make your dreams a reality and stop letting your dreams just be a dream. It took young, brave, strong men to help you to have opportunities. It took men like Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, and others who suffered the pains of prison and suffered the pain of death in order to liberate your people so that they would be able to be counted as equal in a society. Today I am saying to you, in order for you to be counted, you have to stand up. In order for you to benefit, you have to stand up. You cannot allow a few elected individuals who sit at the hem of power to ensure that their friends, their financiers, and their family bathe in the wealth of this country while you have no future, young people. How many educated young ladies are out there so qualified that all you can get with your qualification is a walk by KFC or in some cloth store and in some case a security guard? Not saying that those are not jobs, but you are so qualified. What opportunity that the government has prepared for you? How many young men so qualified, and today you can only depend on 30 grams and 3 trees in our society? How much educated men have to stand up by the block and sell marijuana in order to survive? How many young men has lose their life just in 2022 alone because they have to indulge themselves in illegal activities in order to put a bread on the table. How many men and women will have to turn to prostitution in order to get a meal? There is some things that I just cannot share with you tonight. I have seen the distance that people will go to ensure that the children have a meal. I have seen how vulnerable women has become in order to give their baby some milk. I have seen young men with large visions who have to turn into a life that is not becoming young men in order to wear a sneakers and to put a pants on the bottom in this country. This is reality, Trinidad. Tobago, this is reality. We as the elder, we must stand up and we must do what is lawfully possible to ensure that our children have a future. I want to speak to the police here tonight. I want to tell the police that you have children. You have sons and you have daughters. You will have grandchildren. And when you utilize yourself to condone the wrong, unlawful behavior of the P&M government, I want you to know that what is happening, what the government is doing, as sooner than later, it will affect your family too. You must stand up, police officers. Stand up for what is right. Do not allow your seniors to encourage you to do what is wrong, because they themselves will eventually lock you up and testify against you. How much officers end up before the courts because your seniors were corrupted and you took instructions whether to go and pick up money, drugs, or what have you, and to the end of the day your seniors is still working while you are on suspension, or you lost your job, or you're still before the courts. We must ensure that those who have the rule over us, that they abide by the laws that they expect us to uphold. We are in a dangerous place. We are in a place where it seems as though there is no end. We are at the place where an administration have no clue what to do to fix the problem. You think a day of prayer, you believe a day of prayer will help Rowley to run this country? You think a day of prayer will fix the problems? Let me help you to understand something. God help those who help themselves. God tell us that faith without works is dead. When God wanted to deliver the children of Israel out of bondage in Egypt, God raised up Moses. You think that God couldn't just say, children of Israel, come forth and be free? He raised up Moses to do the job. And Moses had to act in order for things to happen. When you have a prime minister with all these allegations, when you have a prime minister who boasted that he deal with Patrick Manning from Lecky toe or Lecky finger, Lecky leg or Lecky knee, wherever Lecky, and boasted that the last man that put me out, you see what I'm saying? I live close to Lecky too, given the inference.
I want to tell you something. I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Lecky too. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it. Remember I was in the cabinet? I took issue over the behavior of Calder Hart and Udicup. And what happened to me? I was put out of the cabinet.
What kind of evil?
Yeah, and that man calling for day of prayer.
What kind of evil? And this is the man that want prayers. This is the man that want prayers. I wonder, I really wonder how Mrs. Manning does take that when she see that. I wonder how Mrs. Manning does feel when she know that she have a son who now taking instructions from the same man who boasted in causing that kind of grief on another human being.
The leader
Watch
said,
this other one,
the leader of the bench said
talking
today,
about
said
leading
on the
like a
first day,
zombie from
"We're in charge of
Lesotho."
this house, and you are going to deal with it. You are going to learn to deal with it, because we are going to be in this place for the next 5 years at least, and in your face for the next 5 years at least, like a zombie from Lekoto. Lekoto.
Boy, if all you believe that that human being and that their prayer meant something, well then all you could live in all your maya, or you could live in all your pit, All you could live in all the cesspit and feel, just stay there and feel that God does think like all you, with all your idiotness and all the dotishness. Stay there and feel God does think like all you. Or let's stay there and feel so. I want to help some people. I want to help some people tonight, you know. The scripture make it clear. It's not those who say God, God shall enter into the kingdom, but those who do the will. In other words, those who are obedient. You could call God and pray to God from now until God come. You have no answer to get from God. So all of you who feel all you know Bible, and all of you idiots who feel that all you could talk Bible, let me tell you something. All you can't talk Bible with me to start with. All you can't talk Bible with me. So look at Mama Guy all yourself. Mama Guy all yourself. And Mama Guy, this day I pray. And feel that is that. Just feel that is that. Now you feel so. So all you pray for the whole day. When all you finish praying, then I no more die the night. When all you done pray, then I no more the next day. When all you done pray, then I murder today. When all you done pray, then I murder tomorrow. Oh, all you feel is just so. All you feel a look at Papi show God. That is what I've done here. All you feel a look at Papi show God. But go ahead and fool at yourself. Go ahead and Papi show all yourself. All you go ahead and do that. I want to tell you something as I close off here tonight. I want to tell you something because tonight, 8:30, I out of here. I want to tell all you that if all your young people stand up and do what is necessary, all you might as well kiss all your future goodbye. This is our government that have no mercy for the young. This is our government who don't care about the old. This is our government that will continue to utilize you, the population, to stay in power, to ensure that all tracks are covered. I urge you tonight, young people, start to bring yourselves in groups. Let us meet and talk. And let us arrive at a conclusion to save this country from the wicked, evil hands of this administration. God bless you. I gone.
Yeah, Victor, before we go, we just want to really thank all those people who contributed to the march. You know, there were a lot of generous contributions and donations. You know, and yeah, really thank these people and hope that, you know, that we most likely will be coming back with days to be announced for the marches, and looking forward to those same contributions. Tomorrow we're supposed to have Douglas politics. We know the Douglas is not well right now. You know, he is asthma. He gets his asthma act up, but he's a fighter, so most likely we would see if we would have show tomorrow. And I could tell you we do have a press conference tomorrow with David Lee, and I believe it is Saddam Hussein. So we could look forward to that tomorrow.
All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I know I have sent out text to those who have assisted. So we just want to reiterate, according to Archie, we thank everybody, and you'll be hearing from us very soon as to the way forward. And I'm speaking about by Friday, you will hear from us with the way forward as we move on. So God bless, good night, be safe. Stay out of the streets because you know what is happening. We gone.